I wake up. Recently, I judged an aspiring TV writer forum sponsored by PlayStation.
Right.
A bunch of kids, freshmen in college, basically, pitched some TV showrunners, including myself, their idea for a show. And the best 5 out of 10, who were out of like 10,000, got to produce a pilot that's going to air on PlayStation.
It's great.
So some of the kids had really great ideas. It was very fun. And then as a nice little bonus treat, shows up at my house last night, PlayStation 4, VR headset, all kinds of accessories and shit.
Beautiful.
So I wake up. I'm kind of hungover from last night. We had our dear friend Pete's bachelor party.
Mm-hmm.
Not hungover, but I was high, so I just felt dumb.
Right.
Joe proposes a diner hang. We go. It's great. I come home, and Heather, my girlfriend, had just watched Broad City this week.
Mm-hmm.
And on Broad City, they had mushrooms.
Mm-hmm.
This week. The episode was about them being on mushrooms.
Right.
Heather's like, what are mushrooms like? I've never done them. I go, well, I have like a chocolate bar of mushrooms in the fridge. So she goes, well, could we do it sometime? I'm like, of course.
Right.
We get them out. I'm making sure we have them, whatever. But in my stupidness this morning, when I come back, I see a piece of chocolate and I throw it in my mouth. It was a very minor dose of mushrooms, but it's how I started my day.
Jesus Christ.
Honestly, it felt like a few hits of weed.
Okay.
It was pretty minor, but I was like, okay. And then I'm feeling good. I had a very stressful week, as I always do. And I'm like, I'd love to just play this PlayStation and not have to set it up. I want to just play the thing. So I'm sitting there. I'm looking at home audio people online and reading reviews and everything. And I'm like, fuck this. I can hook up a PlayStation. I'm a grown man.
Yeah.
I go to hook it up. Not only do I not successfully set up the PlayStation.
It's one cable. It's an HDMI to your TV.
Well, I also ruined my cable viewing, my turntable viewing, so now I can't listen to music.
How?
I ruined everything.
How?
Because the setup in my home is in a closet that is rooms away from the television, and I just didn't think it through. I've been plugging things into the wrong thing. So I go, fuck this. I'm calling a professional. I call a guy. This guy comes to my house. He shows up. He goes, what do you want to do, Armenian guy? I go, I'm just trying to set up a place. This guy's job is setting up home theater systems. Mm-hmm. I told him on the phone, I want to set up a PlayStation, and I got too many cords. I got all these cords. Like, it looks like a goddamn, like Christmas Vacation in there. I go, I just want it cleaned out so that I can.
As Ludacris said once, open his trunk so many wires it looks like a bowl of spaghetti.
That's correct.
Yeah.
I said, I just want to look in there and not be intimidated and know that if I want to plug A into B, it's not going to fuck up my whole system. I go, the guy that set it up he's trying to do too much.
All right.
So he's looking at it. He goes, okay. Gets in there. He's looking at it. I'm starting to realize almost immediately he doesn't know what a PlayStation is. He's like a 55-year-old guy.
Oh, boy.
So he's looking at it. Then he comes in. My TV is mounted on the wall. And it was a very professional job and not a cheap job either.
That's what this is exactly why I'm against the wall mount, is because you can't get to anything.
You can't get to anything.
Yeah.
Yes. But it was all set up that you can do it in this back closet. But this guy's, I guess, old school. But he's also a guy who all he does all day. It's like when anyone like who's coming to repair a toilet or something comes to your house and they start asking you questions about. It's like, I don't know anything about toilets. You're a plumber. Like, I hate it so much. So he comes in and they make you feel stupid, but he's looking at it and he goes, well, how do I get to the wires on the back of the TV? How do I get to the wires? So I said, well, they're in this back room. But I said, sir, with all due respect, this is exactly what I said to him. I said, with all due respect, if all you do is home theater setups, have you never seen a TV that's mounted on a wall?
Right.
And he stares at me. There's a bit of a language barrier. But he goes, no. So the plugins are behind the TV? I said, well, maybe. And while I'm answering his question, I should also point out that below my TV, on my little cabinet, is a pricey, high-end turntable because I really get into my vinyl and my music.
You like your records.
I like my records, and it's a nice system.
Speaking of which, I got some gems today that I'd like to talk about.
I'd love to hear it. But, of course, it's the glass top to the turntable, and it's right under the TV. And this guy, and I am not exaggerating, who is let me just say it a third time, a home theater installation expert, grabs with both hands the side of my flat screen TV on my wall and yanks, seemingly as hard as he can, the left side of the television. I'm not kidding.
Did it rip out of the wall?
A piece of plastic from the back shatters and goes flying out the right side of the television. I jump off the couch, because that's where I should be, on the couch, letting the professional fix it.
Right.
Because I called him to do so. I jump up and in the nick of time grab the TV, a 55-inch television, as it falls off the wall and into my hands, because if I hadn't jumped up, it would have landed on my expensive turntable that was below it.
And both would have broken.
Both would have broken.
Yeah.
And I said, to be honest, I lost it. I caught myself pretty quickly, but I was like, what are you doing? What are you doing? He's like, well, sorry. He's like, it should be hooked up better. It should be hooked up better. I said, you yanked it. It's wall mounted. I haven't had a problem in 3 years. Then you yanked it off the wall. So he goes, do you have it? Do you have it? I said, no, I don't have it. You need to help me. So I start trying to move my turntable, and I'm unplugging something that is very carefully wired and hooked up, trying to protect it. So then I get it down. We get the TV rehooked up on the wall.
So it looks okay on the wall again.
Looks okay on the wall. He's like, sorry. He goes out to his truck, puts on one of those like coal miner helmets with the light.
The hell does he need that for?
Looks behind it, and then he goes, oh, here it is. Moves the TV a quarter of an inch and finds the hook in that he needed. Plugs it. There was no he was going to just yank the fucking thing off. I don't know what he thought he was doing.
Jesus Christ.
And honestly, once I started talking to him at the end of the night, at the end of the transaction, I was smelling alcohol, and I had nothing to drink.
Oh, you were on mushrooms.
I had nothing to drink.
I know, but I'm saying you were on mushrooms. You sure you were smelling alcohol?
The lowest of doses. I mean, I wasn't like spiraling or something.
I know.
But talk about an experience you don't want to have when you're on any dose of mushrooms. The guy finds it, plugs it in. He sets up the PlayStation. Basically, I wind up setting it up in the end because he doesn't understand what.
How much did this cost you?
I'll tell you. We get the PlayStation set up. Then he goes, okay, you're good to go. He's getting ready to leave my home. There's shards of the TV connecting device on the floor of my living room. There are cords dangling out the back of my television. And the PlayStation is sitting on my coffee table.
Walsh, I'm worried about you. You're real. This is high tension right now. I'm serious. You're having a stressful week, and then this is your Saturday.
By the way, this place has 5 stars on Yelp.
Those are probably fake reviews.
So I said, sir, you can't leave here. He goes, what? What's the problem? I go, so for starters, do I need any of this shit that's sitting on the floor that fell out of the back of my television? He goes, no, you can throw it away. Okay, I'll do that. But obviously, I don't want my PlayStation on my coffee table. I want it set up in my closet that I have for my Blu-ray player and etc.
Well, you can't do that.
He did it, and it works.
Oh, he did. Oh, okay. So you have it. So the PlayStation is accessible, but in the closet.
Yes, we set it up. It's close enough that the sensors pick up and everything. So he takes it back, and he's like, all right, we good? And he starts to leave. And I go, but sir, the other reason I called, there were 2 reasons, is that none of my stuff works. And he goes, well, I fixed it so it all works. I go, can you please let me check and make sure?
Yeah.
I checked my DirecTV, nothing, no signal. I put on a record, no sound. So I said, you see? So you gotta, he's looking. He's there for like 20 minutes. Finally, I go, this antenna box spec here is for this remote. and the remote doesn't work because something's wrong with the box. Can you check the box? He goes, yeah. He goes out. He yanks. I have this nice cabinet.
Guy likes yanking.
The cabinet is full of, a bunch of books and stuff, but, you can move the cabinet with two people. And I tell him, he's yanking on the cabinet, and he can't move it. And I hear I'm not going to tell you how much this fucking cabinet was, but I had a decorator do my house. I wanted to at least, I have no taste in any other aspect of my life. I wanted to have a nice-looking house. This guy is yanking on this cabinet underneath the thing, and I go, sir, please stop doing that. And I hear a snap of wood on this, crafted cabinet that I got at an antique shop. I go, sir, why are you yanking on that? He goes, well, I need to get to this thing back here. I said, sir, you need to ask me if you're going to do that. What you were trying to get to, because there's a box back here I'm trying to get to. I go, sir, that is not a box. That is the it's part of my turntable, and it's the subwoofer thing.
Just before or after the diner?
It's like 4 p.m.
It's 4 p.m.
Yeah. I go, that's for my subwoofer. He goes, are you sure that's not the remote? I go, yeah, I'm sure. What you need to look at is what I've told you 3 times to look at.
Right.
He goes back there. He's like, I can't figure it out. That's how we're about to end the transactions, with him saying, I can't figure out. As a home audio engineer, I can't figure out how you can watch TV, how you can listen to music. And he's getting ready to leave my home saying, I can't figure it out.
Right.
I get up there. I'm on a ladder. I'm tweaking things around, and I go, here we go. I turn the thing. I push it up against the wall, and then suddenly the sensor's working and everything's fine. And I go, all right, man. I think we got it working. Thanks. He goes, okay, good. Can I get some water? I said, sure. I give him a glass of water. He drinks it, and I am not. Thankfully, it was water, but I am not kidding you, Joe. I give him a solo cup of water. He drinks it and takes a big swig of it. He hands it to me, and he goes, could I get another glass? Fine.
Okay.
Pour him a glass of water. I hand it to him. He takes a tiny sip off this glass, sets it on the edge of my coffee table in a way I will describe as criminally insane, where he's got a fourth of the cup on the table,
right,
and
yeah.
3/4 off.
Right.
And, of course, the cup falls.
Maybe this guy was drunk.
Splashes to the ground, and then I put together that the man is drunk at 4 p.m. And I said...
Driving around,
doing call. So I said, you know what, man? There's no real apology to that. I'm like, it's water. Don't worry about it. It's fine. I go, what do I owe you? He goes, I don't know. You want the invoice? I said, I'm just asking
you how much.
Give me this
number, baby. I want to hear it. I want to hear this number.
$100? With a question mark. I said, is that like a usual rate? Is that the rate for what happened? He goes, service calls, about $100. I said, okay.
About 100.
I write the man a check. I get him out of my house. I just couldn't. I sat down. I played a little bit of a game. I was rattled by the encounter. Well,
yeah. That's and this is you got to. Pat and I, as you mentioned earlier, we hit the diner first thing this morning about 9 a.m. He orders a plate of what looked to be nothing more than nachos to me, with a substitution of eggs for the lettuce.
Joe's Joe, what nachos do you know have lettuce?
Well, nachos usually have like lettuce, tomato, and onion on them, and melted cheese. This was melted cheese, beans, a meat, and then eggs all over chips.
Chilaquiles. It's a Mexican breakfast. It's on every menu.
You can call it what you want. It's goddamn nachos in the morning. That's what it is.
It was a special. It was $9.95. I said I'll try it. I got people at adjoining tables saying, "Are those chilaquiles? They look good. Can I try some?" Now, I had half of it at most. Joe's over there eating pancakes and shit as well. Why is that? I'm not saying it's an unreasonable breakfast. Why is it a more reasonable breakfast?
I'm just breaking your balls, but I'm saying you go home with a belly full of breakfast nachos.
Yes.
You eat just a piece of candy laying out in the open, which is an odd choice in my opinion, even in your own house.
Certainly couldn't question that.
To see candy just laying around unwrapped.
Certainly couldn't question that was a strange move. but
now you're on mushrooms. Now you got a guy coming in with this whole
on
thing.
mushrooms is a heavy exaggeration.
But I'm just
I want to
saying-
stress that. I want to stress.
I'm
that.
saying this to support you.
Yes.
You were not in a state that you'd like to be in to deal
Didn't
with
need
something
it.
like this.
I'm just saying, like, and the last one, and this is 30 seconds. When I walk up to your gate tonight, there are 3 ladies sitting out there.
Ladies.
And I buzz, and you buzz me in. And these ladies are sitting out there silently. And I open the gate, and I turn to them, and I say, "Are you guys trying to get in?" It's 3 very innocent-looking ladies. It looked as though they were waiting for somebody to open the gate.
Right.
I could not have been nicer with this. Are you guys trying to get in? 2 of them say nothing. The third looks at me with like a heavy sigh and an eye roll, and she goes, "No."
I got to get out of this town.
What are we doing?
I got to
as a society.
It's this town. I had 2 encounters with drivers. The one I'll